Honorable President of BSHRM, Chair of this conference, honorable guests. Good news, I heard lunch is going to be on time, so not to worry even if things are delayed a little bit. And another good news is I won't take too much of your time, because after my presentation I believe we have Farhad Anwar sir, who's going to talk about Industry 4.0, and I'm really looking forward to hear from you. I will be touching a little bit on Industry 4.0 as well, maybe a little precursor to your presentation. So, is that working? Do we have? Oh.
The organizing team, please take care of whether it's working properly. Please check it.
Yeah, I know, but can I get the slide to work? Sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. One more round of applause for the honorable president for helping me out over here. So my presentation is going to be a little bit of different. I'm going to actually talk about, from the government side, what we are doing to develop the human resource and skills. It sort of sounds like a self-promotion, but this is something that you need to know, because this is not a private organization, it's a public organization, run by taxpayers' money. So I think the people has a right to know how the government is working to minimize these gaps, and how you as HR professionals work with us, work with the government to improve on policy as well as different programs that can lead to better human resources in our country. So let me give a little introduction of, you know about the ICT Ministry. LICT project, it's under the ICT Ministry. The ICT Ministry has a few mandates. The ICT division actually, it's under the Ministry of Post, Telecommunications and IT. It has two divisions, Telecom division and the ICT division. So the ICT division works with digital government. So the things you hear about digitization of our passport, noti, everything, every public service that you hear about the government is trying to digitalize, ICT division has a role to play in it. Especially providing the infrastructure, the data center, the government data centers, the cyber security. All these issues are managed by the Bangladesh Computer Council under ICT division. Yeah. Connectivity. So while Telecom division works with connectivity across the country, ICT division focuses on government office connectivity. So let me give you an example. Through several projects, we have connected over 1,000 unions with fiber optic connectivity, and within the next few years, all 4,500 unions will be connected with fiber optic network. I believe it's about 1 GB bandwidth, or very high bandwidth. What does that mean for the nation? So when the government designed it, what we did is we put a POP in every union, so the private sector can buy unused bandwidth from this POP and use it to provide internet connectivity up to the village level. So while we have 3G, 4G and coming up 5G networks, you also have a free network across the country where government will not charge for the mile travel. What this means is that right now in Dhaka city, 10 Mbps internet might cost you 1,500 taka, but in Borishal, only 1 Mbps internet costs 2,000 taka. So, but when you get the free network from the government, it basically, what will happen is that you will be able to take internet up to the village level. Now, what does that mean for the future of jobs and human resources when a person can work from their home or from their village? Does that mean we are going to have access to a bigger pool of human resources, or are we going to use a traditional system where we bring in human resources up to our office? So that's the thing of the future that may affect how Bangladesh works. The other area, human resource development. Now, while there is Labor Ministry, Education Ministry, and different other ministries that work with human resources, we from ICT Ministry focus mainly on the IT human resources. So, especially the upcoming technology, which the private sector has not moved into yet, which requires a lot of investment, especially in computer labs and hardware infrastructure, is where we work on. And finally, IT industry promotion. It's, so we promote Bangladeshi local companies abroad trying to improve their business. We take them to different fairs across the world. We bring in global investors to come into Bangladesh and invest in the IT sector. So recently we were working with some global giants, some of the top 5 companies in the world, helping them set up operation in Bangladesh. What will that mean for the entire business community in the future when these global companies establish their foothold in Bangladesh? I believe I pressed the wrong button again. Let's go back. Right. So, LICT project under the ICT Ministry, we have several targets that we work on, and I've already mentioned that to you. So one of the areas that we do is skill development and employment generation, which I'll come to a little bit later. Promoting the Bangladesh in the global IT market. So we have hired consultants like Boston Consulting Group, Ernst & Young. They're working with us trying to promote and improve the business of our country in the global market. We do work with building capacity of government offices in technology. So we do training on cybersecurity. We do training on project management for government departments and government officers to help them, develop the capacity to improve service in their organization. So example is police, RAB, different security organizations get their cybersecurity training from us. We do work with building integrated e-governance support so that we have developed the National Enterprise Architecture. It's a platform across the government on which different ministries can build applications and they can share information across the board. I won't touch too much on it just because of time issue, but how many of you are excited about Industry 4.0? I know I am. You are, just a few people. How many, which means the rest of you are scared about Industry 4.0, right? Well, Industry 4.0 is happening right now. Now, we talk about digitization and IT. That was Industry 3.0. 4.0 is already here. Just let me give you an example. And I was talking to this gentleman in the garment and apparel industry a few days back. I was telling him about his plan for Industry 4.0 and he's like, nothing to worry about. It's 20, 30 years down the road. It's not going to affect us. But let me tell you, 2 years ago, this company in Arkansas, they developed this, in Florida, I'm sorry, they developed this shoe bot. And a Chinese garments company opened this factory in Arkansas, and now they're making t-shirts for Adidas sitting in Arkansas. They're not coming to developing countries. They have already started doing it. And that was 2 years ago. So what will that mean for our garments industry in the future? Will these foreign companies give their orders to Bangladesh, or will they just do it where the market is? So that's a challenge we have to face. How is it going to affect the human resources in the garment industry? As a matter of fact, most HR professionals should be thinking about what it means, not only for the human resources, but as a matter of fact, what the Musharraf has talked about earlier, is that the role of HR manager is also business manager. So you should also be thinking about what it means for your organization. Do you have the right human resources to manage this automation, to manage this transformation from your traditional manufacturing process to an AI-dependent or an IoT-dependent process? So this is where the government right now, we are putting in effort to actually figure out the skills that we are going to lose because of this automation, because of Industry 4.0. What are the new skills that's required, and how can actually help you transform as well as support the private sector in building these human resources. So let's come directly to LICT project. In the last 2 years, we have trained about 30,000 people across Bangladesh. We have trained in the traditional technologies such as Java, application development, web development, data analytics, graphic design, the things that are already out in the market, in the local market, in the Bangladesh market, as well as the global market. But at the same time, we have also trained people in IoT, blockchain. There's a company called Augmetics that provides medical services in the US through using Google Glass. So we have trained resources for them to be able to provide the service from Bangladesh. And several other emerging technologies. But the problem is, we didn't, and the good thing is that we didn't go out and train 100,000 people in a blockchain and leave them out to the market. What we did is a hire and train model. So a company comes to us and says, look, I have this blockchain job, I want to hire 100 people. And we say, great, let's form a partnership. You hire them and we'll train them. So it's a completely hire and train model. And finally, we have done is a middle management training program. Dr. Saiful Mojid was here, director of IBA, and we have Dr. Farhat Anwar sir, the future director of IBA. It's in partnership with IBA. We have created this program. It's to train the middle managers of IT companies in management practices so that they can deal with technology and these changes in Industry 4.0 brings. What does that mean for you? It means that coming up in the future, you can send your IT managers in your organization to this particular program. It will help them understand how to manage the challenges of business transformation. Just an example, you know there's a local bank in Bangladesh, the only bank probably who has actually jumped ahead. They've made their IT manager, the head of their IT, the managing director of the bank. So that's how important IT and Industry 4.0 and all this technology can mean to your organization in the future. Some of the key features of our training program that we have done. So it's not like anybody. We have done this training across Bangladesh, 64 districts. There's certain technology-focused training we have done in only technology universities. The others, like graphic design, IT knowledge, smart executive, we have done in every district, in every, at least one college in every district. And the participants were selected through an assessment process. So they had to pass an assessment. So then you actually get a certain quality of students that actually come into your program. They were trained with international trainers, and the whole curriculum is recognized by George Washington University. So at the end of the program, they get a certificate with George Washington University name on it, trained by global trainers, and a special part of this program, almost 60 hours of this program, is focused on soft skills. So soft skills meaning that they're improving their, teaching them about interview skills, teaching them how to write their CV, about job etiquette, how to dress up, how to manage stress in the workplace. So 60 hours of that focus on soft skills. Now what we have done is that we have created a portal, bdskills.gov.bd, and we have put the 30,000 people's resumes on bdskills.gov.bd, along with a future plan of bringing in all the different human resources that the government is going to help train under this bdskills.gov.bd. So what's so unique about this portal? It's what we have done is in the portal. So for example, you want to hire people with Java skills. So when you put up your job post, you can, as an employer, you can register and you can put up a job post. Only students who have completed Java training will see your job post, and only they can apply. So one thing is that in the very first time, instead of getting thousands of resumes that doesn't actually match your requirement, you actually get what you need. And then you can go through the process and select them. So I'm almost at the end of my presentation. So we are actually LICT as a partner of BSH, and I'm not saying partner for this program only. We have actually signed an MOU to work together. So for example, if you need to work with government in any way, you come to us through BSHRM, and we'll help you develop your human resources, provide you human resources. So one thing you can do is, we have a booth outside. You can register on bdskills.gov.bd. And my colleague, Tamzid, is over there. He can help you register. And you can go through these 30,000 CVs. You can post a job, you can see if anybody matches, call them for an interview. We are going to organize job fairs across the country. So we have already done a couple. We have done one at IBA, Dhaka University. We have done one in Chittagong. We have plans to do one in Rajshahi, Chittagong, in different places. So if you want to be part of the job fair, and usually our job fairs have 20, 30, 40,000 people that shows up. So if you want to be part of the job fair, you can participate in it through BSHRM. We'll talk together and how many stalls you want to take. And it's, you can come in there and be part of the job fair. So we will have different seminars that we'll part with. If you have several policy requirements in human resources that you would like the government to know about, you can come to us through BSHRM, which we can help you look at it and see how it affects the industry as a whole, especially if it focuses on the technology. Coming in the future, one thing is that every industry will be in the technology sector. So governments is going to be focused on technology. Corporate is going to focus on technology. So actually, that's why it actually comes within our boundary to help develop the human resources, not only for the IT companies, but only for the time. Do I have almost? Oh, okay. My time is up, but I invite you to come and register on bdskills.gov.bd. By the way, it's all free, no charges. It's all free to use. And I believe a gentleman has a question. I can take a quick question. May I, sir? If you would kindly introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sumit Sanyal. I'm the Chief of Human Resources of Fakir Apparels. This is my first visit to this country. I've just come about a week back to this country. I was hearing about the two two verticals in your government. The telecommunications and the IT is completely different.
Sure.
Is there a possibility that a convergence can be worked with the telecommunications as well as the IT? I'll come to that. Why am I saying that? Today, most of the people have got smartphones, and the education can also be driven through the smartphones in terms of training, in terms of behavioral skills, in terms of any sort of technology can be learned. So in India, where I come from, we have been doing this in a very large scale and in mass scale. So that way we are building up capacity right from the grassroots level. So is there any possibility of that in this country also? Or in the sector which I represent, can that be done in the government sector, which is completely employee-centric?
Sure, absolutely. So just to answer your question, both the ICT division and telecom division is under the Ministry of Post, Telecom and IT. So it's one single minister and both. So yes, we both work together actually. ICT needs to work with telecom in order to develop many of the solutions that we're doing right now. In terms of
Convergence.
In terms of smartphones, in terms of course that's possible, and that's what we're doing in terms of the government is doing, because we are all together in several committees, several key committees that implement several key technology solutions across the country. In terms of smartphone, and we're already doing this. So the LICT training we talked about, most of it is already online on a marketplace that is also accessible to a smartphone. So, but this is IT training, and in the future we can work with other sectors, but other sectors have their different projects and different bodies. There's the ACIB project under the Ministry of Finance that works with it. I am glad to talk to you about it after this because we have time constraint, but there are some plans on it, and I'm sure you can also put in your feedback and be part of that.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We can take another question, and this is the last one. The rest of us can meet him during the job fair, definitely. So any question, please?
Yes.
Sure, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Shami.